I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Story. To the Tampa area, where in the skies above Tampa is a police helicopter, and they were doing their normal work, and they noticed a little flash in their equipment. Their video camera that they constantly have going just blew up white. And what that means is someone's pointing a laser at him. Actually, it blew up green. And you've heard these stories about how they find some guy and arrest him for pointing a laser at a helicopter or airplane or something. And I've always wondered, how do they catch these dudes? Well, you want to see what happens when they catch them? The Tampa police put it on YouTube, and this is I find this absolutely fascinating. Now you're going to hear the audio just fine, but what you're missing is there is a police helicopter that is floating overhead, and it looks like you're just doing Google Maps at night from a 45-degree angle. And his little camera zooms in so well that after a couple of flashes, he finds the apartment window, and he can lock his video camera on this. So even if he's flying around, there's a little X that he puts on there that it'll keep the camera frame focused on that X that will stay in the center. And so then what happens is they just wait for him to do it a couple more times, and they figure out which window it is, and they can tell the cops exactly where to go. Hey, he's on the second floor, and here's the corner of the streets. And I guess you have to know the map pretty good.
For now, I got somebody at Bush and 56 hitting us with a green laser.
Yep, it's that simple. That I never saw that before. I always wondered how that happened. Now you know. And some Florida man had to go to jail for me to learn that, but I appreciate that. Hold my beer.
Wait,
hold my beer.
What?
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. What is it?
What we have is at a school in Florida is a mom. She has two kids who go to this school, and she is one of these good moms that volunteers. And it's fantastic that, to have some parents step up, because, the schools are always short on volunteers. And so, I mean, this woman's basically a hero, and everyone loves her until they find out that, oh no, she has an OnlyFans account. And for those of you who don't know what OnlyFans is, congratulations on being a decent human being. But OnlyFans is a place where you can charge people to access your content, and it's sort of like a do-it-yourself porn site. I mean, you could do cooking demonstrations, or you could give music lessons or whatever, but that's not what it's known for. Okay, I know what all the guys are wondering. Is she hot? Yes, she's absolutely gorgeous. Okay. So this Florida mom, she's 31, by the way. And so Orange County Public School says, that's just too distracting. We can't be having you. And I thought that was ridiculous because, look at her. No, that's not a good excuse. I mean, this is a sort of a conundrum, because I must admit, I would find it quite distracting if, I was volunteering for some school event and I think I'd be okay with it. What's their problem with this? I don't know. You figure in Florida, with all the stuff they have going on, they have 28 other priorities above, hey, this beautiful mom has an OnlyFans account. But, if parents complain and you're the school board, what you gonna do? So now the Florida mom is not allowed to volunteer at her kid's school anymore. She says she's going to keep doing the OnlyFans, but she has also filed a lawsuit against the Orange County Public Schools for $1 million, which would be her biggest subscriber thus far, I'd imagine. Hold my beer.
Wait,
hold my beer.
What?
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. What is it?
So Walter sent me this story from the Washington Post, but I've seen write-ups of similar issues here, and that has to do with the number of insurance companies that are leaving the state of Florida. And so, I go through this one in the Washington Post. Well, I keep up with the news pretty good, and maybe there's something I could learn from this, though, if Walter thinks it's important enough to send to me. And so they're telling the story of a situation that's happening in Florida at Northport. AAA just pulled out of Florida. Farmers Insurance has pulled out of Florida. United Property and Casualty just went under, and they are the 9th property insurer in Florida to go insolvent since 2021. So in the last 2 years. And I don't, dismiss this lightly, but am I surprised? Oh my God, no. Have you ever heard an episode of Florida Stories before? Of course insurers are pulling out. They've got alligators and crocodile living side by side, the only place on planet Earth where that happens. Everything gets reset by a hurricane about every, 3 to 5 years. They got Scarface at the bottom. They got Deliverance at the top. They've got all the Mickey Mouse stuff in the middle. We've all watched them transfer from make these great face changes from cocaine to heroin to oxys to meth to bath salts, and I guess fentanyl now is probably taking the lead. Of course, insurance. If you were an insurance company, if you just started your own little insurance firm, I would recommend that you start with the other 49 states first and dip your toe into Florida last. The real story is, how did they have any insurance companies to begin with? Hold my beer.
Wait,
Hold my beer.
what?
Hold my beer.
I'm a beer. What is this?
So it starts off with the funny headline: Florida woman douses herself in Diet Mountain Dew to erase DNA after killing her roommate, 79. And you're like, wait a second, her roommate 79 years old? Yes. How old is she? All right, this is the perfect question. 35. 35-year-old Florida woman has a 39-year-old Florida woman has a 79-year-old male roommate, and she killed him. She killed him. She took off her clothes. She set him on fire. She went on the run. Cops catch up with her pretty quick because they're like, okay, we have a dead guy. Maybe the roommate knows something. Where's the roommate? Oh, she has disappeared. Oh, okay. So they go and track her down. And the 35-year-old Florida woman, by the way, not too bad looking. I've done worse. But, the neck tattoos kind of ruin it. She would have a really good thing going here. But also in the mugshot, you can see she has the shark eyes thing going. Like the animatronic Jaws shark robot from the movie. Those eyes have no emotion behind them. They're incapable of emotion. They can move side to side. They can look like they're looking at things, but they're not actually looking at things. She's just a crazy person. So when you see this lady's mugshot, who, again, the base human being we're looking at is actually quite a pretty woman, but you throw in all the tattoos on her shoulder and her clavicle and then the neck and the 1,000-yard stare. Can you believe that she would get a little stabby on her 79-year-old roommate? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can absolutely believe that. In fact, I probably would have predicted it. Hold my beer.
Wait,
Hold my beer.
what?
Hold my beer.
I'm a beer. What is this?
I don't think we've ever been here before. Our final Florida story is coming from Wilton Manors, Florida. And it sounds very proper, doesn't it? Wilton Manors. And Wilton Manors has the most adorable problem I have ever heard of. There is an illegal rabbit breeder, and she has decided that she doesn't want to do this anymore. So she took all her rabbits and she just let them out into the wild outside of Wilton Manors. And you would think, well, bunnies, they're going to get snatched up by coyotes or stray dogs or something else real quick. And I don't know how they've done it, but they've reproduced fast enough that we now have a new invasive species problem that I've never seen anywhere on planet Earth. They have these adorable, fuzzy little rabbits that are running all over Wilton Manors, Florida. And it is absolutely adorable. The pictures of these things, they are super fluffy. You get this picture of rabbits in your head of what they must look like in the wild. These don't look like wild rabbits. These look like the cutesy ones that are in commercials, like laying Cadbury eggs, or you're giving one to a niece on Easter, and it is so cute. I would love to have my area overrun with these bunnies. I don't think they would last very long around my neighborhood. There's too many dogs and whatnot. But what a great problem to have. Here's where it gets silly, though. This is where you can't just have a cute little, fluffy invasion. What they have now is these people who are trying to raise the $40,000 it would cost for a rescue group to come, not get rid of the bunnies, not kill them. They want to capture them humanely, neuter them, vaccinate them, and then give them shelter until they die of natural causes. They're saying this is a rescue program. It's like, excuse me. These were animals who were living in captivity, domesticated bunnies who are been set free, and they've been given the gift of freedom. You're not rescuing them. You're like recapturing and re-imprisoning them. If they just have it totally backwards, but it's the cutest thing you've ever seen. An invasive species of bunnies. Finally, an invasive species we're happy about. Hold my beer.
Wait,
Hold my beer.
what?
Hold my beer.
I'm a beer. What is this?
Stories is produced by Spring Rock. Follow me on Twitter at Florida Stories J. I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Stories. One thing no one ever told you about relationships is how many gifts are involved. There's always one coming up. If it's not Christmas, it's Valentine's, then there's an anniversary, then there's a birthday, then there's Mother's Day. And even if you're good at buying gifts, after a few years of this, you've run through all your good ideas. So what do? I have your answer. Symmetry Jewelry. Go to symmetryjewelry.com. You can't go cheap and get her something from the dollar store. And it's not enough to just spend a bunch of money. Give her $400 cash. Do you think she'd be happy with that? I know you're not a jewelry expert, but go to symmetryjewelry.com and click around. This isn't some retail chain jewelry store. This is a house of artists in New Orleans who handcraft one-of-a-kind pieces, and each piece is a little work of art. You suck at buying gifts, so the next time you have to buy a gift, get it right. Go to symmetryjewelry.com. Use promo code JAMES for 10% off right off the top. I get a little commission too. Your girl's happy. Everybody wins. Symmetryjewelers.com. Ladies, you're welcome.